Welcome to YNOT on the PCT.
Good morning. I am in Oregon and I'm back on the PCT. In an ideal world, PCT you don't have any of these discontinuities where you're in one place and then you're in a very different place. But here, that's where I am. So now this is where I got off the trail 2 years ago because of fires had closed this part of the trail. So I actually walked down the trail out to Elk Lake, and then I walked like 20 miles down the road there, which ends up being not meaningful, so I could have just waited at Elk Lake, but I thought maybe I would do a road walk around the fire, but I ended up not doing that. But now I'm back on the trail here to fill in this little hole between here and Shelter Cove, which will be today and tomorrow. It's like 46 miles, which is a long ways, but the miles generally easier here. And then another hole of 106 miles between Crater Lake and Ashland, and then I'll be done. Earlier this year, I was thinking about not even doing this part at all, but now I'm glad that I am. I'm actually going to be finishing it. 7 days of hiking, and I will have hiked continually from border to border. I'm doing this part south because I had done these. I was going south at this point before, so it just feels more correct to do this southbound. So 2 days here, and then drive to Crater Lake and have probably a 3-day section and then a 2-day section, and then I'm done. So I don't like the feeling like, well, I'm just doing this to finish, but now that's what I'm doing. This is all about finishing these miles and actually being done and having done every bit of it. So now it's whatever it takes to do these last miles. Started today, had to drive an hour, and still started fairly quickly. Started fairly early, started at like 6:45. It's nice and cool now. It'll be hot in the afternoon, and I'm hoping to do a really long day. I'm hoping to do like 28 miles, so that way I'll have 18 miles tomorrow, and I can get in, rest a little bit, because I'm actually just hoping to start the next section the next day. So this is probably going to be seven straight long days, but I'm almost done. And this is not the Sierras, it's not, or the Cascades, it's not super hard miles. So hopefully that'll work out, and hopefully I'll enjoy walking get into this forest, enjoy walking these miles. And then I'll be done. And I forgot to say that being back here brings me back to the mental state that I was in 2 years ago when I stopped, which was not the best mental place. I think I made the right decision to stop walking, but I was done, and I was not in the best state, and didn't finish the way that I wanted to. Given the realities, it was the right decision, but still not great. So I really want to, part of the reason to hike this last part is that I want to finish it well and feel good about it. We have actually already have dinner reservations for next Saturday, which is 7 days, including today, 'cause today's Sunday. Dinner reservations to celebrate walking the entire trail, which we can change if I decide I want to take a day off or something. But right now, that's the goal, is to get to the celebration dinner in Ashland on Saturday. This is day 1 of 7 to get there. Hi, it's Monday, 6 days to go, and I'm actually a lot of the way done with today. Yesterday I did 28 miles, but it was the easiest walking of the whole trip so far. Probably will end up being the easiest day, because it's not going to be quite that flat for the rest of the way, even though it's definitely easier here in Oregon. Walking to Crater Lake, or not to Crater Lake, to Shelter Cove. Have another couple hours to get there, and then have the afternoon off and start walking at Crater Lake tomorrow. Getting close. Had a nice day yesterday with a lot of social talk. The last 7 miles I was walking with a young woman, and we talked the whole way, so that made that go easy. It's somewhat smoky here, although I can smell it just a little bit, but it definitely is. There's smoke all around. That should be better. I think that'll be better from Crater Lake down to Ashland, because I think it's getting a little farther, a little bit away from the fires. So I just got to the top of the last hill, and it's basically downhill all the way from here down to Shelter Cove. Starting to walk from Crater Lake. I just came down from the Rim Village there. I'm feeling lots of feels, because this is really the place where I stopped 2 years ago. So I was a little surprised by just the amount and the strength of the emotions as I got here and start to walk here. It feels kind of amazing to be back here and be hiking again. And now it's like no more skipping and jumping around. It's like it's just here to Ashland, and then I've done the entire PCT. And Carrie almost knows so much. To Carrie for helping me get back out here. I don't think I'm going to be a emotional mess for the whole 5 days of hiking. Actually, I won't, because I'm going to get tired and hot and sweaty, and that'll get me back into just hiking. But right now I'm feeling that way. I think this is giving me and this is a glimpse to how I'll feel in 5 days when I'm finishing up, and be an emotional mess again. Actually, not a mess, just happy. So at least now it's really cool this morning. It's like 40 degrees at where we were camping at Shelter Cove, and I think it was probably colder here, but and it's warming up a little now, so I took my coat off. But it's supposed to be cool the next, or at least not hot, the next few days. So that should be nice, and beautiful forest, and hopefully a nice walk. Came from this direction. I'm kind of way up on a ridge here. The forest is a mixture of live and burned, all kind of lumped together. But a lot more direct sun today than there has been the last couple of days, and it's like 85 degrees at noon, so it's not hideously hot, but definitely warm enough that the shade feels a lot better than the sun. And very, very dry. It's 16 miles from where I started to water, which I only have like 5 miles, something like 5 more miles to go. But it's just, everything feels super dry and warm and dusty. You can kind of see a long ways, more or less, although there's not a lot of smoke, but definitely a bit of smoke, although I can't smell it. It's not too bad. So I just came off trail a little bit to get water at this fine pond, and I'm filtering it now. You can see that it's green on the top and clear on the bottom, so the filter is working and probably getting clogged up by the second. This has become a tough day. Lots of burn area, like you can see out there. It's hot. There's a little cool breeze now, which is helping, but it's like mid 80s, and lots of downed trees from the fire, and so just climbing over trees a lot, and hot, and my feet hurt. I have a blister on the second smallest toe on the right foot, the one next to my pinky toe, and it's hurting a lot, and my left foot kind of has a hot spot on the heel, so I'll get through it because I can do tough days, but I was hoping not to have to. But today is turning into a tough day, and in just a minute I'll have some water that still doesn't, even the filtered version looks a little wonky, but it'll work. I started super early today. Got walking just after 5:30 because I think it's going to be really hot, and I've come up the first 2.5 miles is quite a climb, and that's what I've done. And again, I'm really close to the top. I think the top is just right up there on that ridge. Been just tons of bugs. Stopped here finally because there's really not many bugs. It's also starting to feel warm already, so I think this is going to be a hot day. But at least there's smoke out there where I came from. But this way the sky is just really blue and looks nice, so at least that's good. And there's more water today. With only a few days left to walk, there's like lots of different ways that the next few days could happen. If I can walk 27.5 today, I can actually get to a road where Carrie will pick me up, which actually, if it weren't for the bugs, I might just think, I think I'd be fine with camping out, but the bugs are really wearing me down, and my feet are hurting. Although after I start walking they're not as bad, which makes stopping a little tough, because whenever I start again, my feet really hurt again. As I'm getting close to the end, I'm starting to having thoughts that I want to share, so I'm hoping to take a couple more breaks through the day and share some more thoughts. We'll see if the bugs and the heat and stuff allow that to happen. So I got to Trail Junction. It was totally unclear which way to go, so I pulled out my phone to look at the map to see which way to go. And I saw a very depressing thing where it's like, oh, I don't see any PCT around here. And so I looked, and looks like I took a wrong turn like half a mile ago. And I didn't even notice a turn. So now I'm going back this trail that I just walked down, and so it's like, looks like half a mile or maybe a little more, basically all uphill to get back to the PCT. So it's the trail's not making the last part easy. When it's super hot this afternoon, I'll try not to think about all this time that I wasted going down here. Finally finished backtracking, which is really a mile or more. And this is where I messed up. I went that way instead of going this way. Shoot. It's Thursday, I'm walking this way. Walked 27 and a half trail miles yesterday. It was really somewhere between 30 and 31 miles with my misadventure going the wrong way and then off trail to get water. And then Carrie picked me up, went back and actually ate a burrito on the drive back, got back, showered, and just fell asleep. I was so tired. So I slept in this morning, and I have 3 days left, and I'm just going to be slack packing each day, which means I'm not camping out anymore. Carrie's going to pick me up at the end of today and then the end of tomorrow, so that I can just, that way I can hike with a light pack, which helps some with my feet, which are feeling not good with multiple blisters on each feet, but I'm doing okay. So today I'm either doing 11.8, 13.8, or 16.8, depending on how far I want to go. It'd be nice to do the, if I can do the 16.8, it will make it a little easier to, this is a little tricky, make it a little easier, hoping that then I do like 21 tomorrow, and then I have something like 15 on the last day on Saturday, and I'm done, which would be nice. It's been really flat. I hit some trail magic, and now I'm just about to the road where Carrie's going to pick me up, and this walking's been really quick and easy. Trail's been like this, not many down trees, and really flat, but the light here just kind of seemed cool with the dappled light coming through the trees. Or maybe I'm feeling a little bit of nostalgia. It's easy to feel that way more when I know I'm going to get a shower tonight and stuff. But this just looks cool. Oh wow! And there's the road. I'm right there, and there is the Carrie. Good morning. It's Friday, the next to last day of my hike. I have about 24 miles today, then I think 16 tomorrow to get to Ashland, or actually I-5 just outside of Ashland. where I started 2 years ago and where I will finish. My feet are still hurting. I have blisters on both feet, but they're doing okay. It's not going to stop me now. I'm going to get done. And I am slack packing, which means I don't have much weight, which makes the walking easier and quicker. And the trail is cruisy, not that hard, and it's also not hot. Might get up to 75 or possibly 80, but not really hot. And at least right now, unless it really changes, there's so much shade that makes a huge difference. And I think this is going to be largely the same through the day. Not much smoke in the sky, so all doing good. Came out of the forest and it's kind of open, smoky, but I see way off in the distance there Mount Shasta, which is another thing that it feels like I'm just about back where I started. Since the first 3 weeks of the hike, I was just walking around Mount Shasta, and here I am back looking at Mount Shasta. So sometime when I was just kind of getting into through hiking and learning about gear and learning about the trails and stuff, and I was thinking about what's important to me, I came up with three things: make good decisions, try hard, and have fun. And honestly, it's not something I've thought about a ton, although I do some, especially the first one, that make good decisions, which I'll just think of as good decisions. And occasionally when I get someplace and it's like, oh, this is what I should do, but I feel tired and I don't want to, I'll think, oh, what's the good decision? And try to do that. Then sometime after that, I think it was sometime on the Colorado Trail, I came up with, I kind of started to have three voices in my head. And when I'm hiking, I actually listen to podcasts a fair amount and music occasionally, but also spend a fair amount of time just in my head, especially in the morning. I will go the first 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, generally just kind of in my head. And one of the things I don't know how quite this started was I kind of ended up making up these three voices inside my head. There's the first one is my body, kind of because it turns out that through hiking is hard, and doing this every day is it's a challenge, and in its core it's a physical challenge. And so what I would do is I would kind of do a check-in with these three voices every morning, and usually starting with my body. And it could be like, now it's kind of my blisters and how my feet are doing. It might be my knees or my back, or just my stomach if it's like I'm not feeling that good or whatever. And I think that really represents that part of through hiking, that it is just really, it's physically hard. And the second one was logistics, because there's a fair amount of logistics on the trail, and that would kind of cover everything from how much water I have and when I'm going to stop to get water, what climbs are ahead, what the heat and bugs, and also food, and like if I'm going into town, what I need to do, and if there's any gear issues, and all that stuff. And so I would kind of check in with to let the logistics voice go a little bit. And the third one is my mind, because through hiking starts as a physical challenge. It ends up being more of a mental challenge. I mean, you have to get past the physical challenge first. That's the ante, but then it's a mental challenge to just keep going every day. So anyway, I have these kind of developed these three voices that basically every morning I would check in with them and see how I'm doing. And it also ended up being a good way of just kind of, I would generally just spiral off on some tangent, thinking about some random thing for a long time and then come back to it. And so it was kind of also a nice kind of structure for just getting my mind just kind of thinking about the things that are important on the trail, but also just kind of random stuff and just kind of thinking about things. And I haven't said anything about this. I've actually never even realized I never even told Carrie about this, but that is very much a part of my hike. I do think it started on the Colorado Trail, so it's been there a long time that I always kind of have the three voices inside my head that a lot of times, instead of starting early in the morning, I would almost picture as like sitting there with mugs of coffee and talking about how stuff is going. And it's like 3 days ago when I was leaving Crater Lake, I left Crater Lake and I started to do this, and I was just kind of basically now there's not that much to think about, honestly, in terms of the hike, and especially as I'm through hiking, as I'm slack packing, it's like there's not that many things to really important things with the hike to think about. But with logistics, somehow I started to think about when I'm done hiking and like, oh, what do I do with the food and what do I do with the gear, and if there's gear I want to clean or fix, and things that I want to keep together for day hiking or whatever. And I just kind of started to go off on that, and I was thinking about that and kind of started from logistics. But then the logistics voice kind of said, will I even exist then? And it was, it hit me, and I realized that it's just kind of the metaphor for, it made me think about what happens with this part of me that has, evolved to be out here hiking, because I've definitely, I feel like I'm going between two worlds, and to some extent two versions of myself when I'm out hiking and when I'm not. And it's much less true now as I'm slack packing these last couple of days and there's no long-term thinking about hiking and stuff. But especially when I was doing longer sections, it very much felt like there's the two different me's, and that's whether I was staying with Carrie in the trailer or whether I was going to a hotel and in the desert. Either way, it's like I just go in and out of kind of this life, and so I was thinking. I started to think about, so what does happen to this part of me? And I'm ready to be done. I'm really happy I did this. I'm happy I'm finishing. I'm proud of myself for, finishing the whole trail. And it's, it doesn't, I guess maybe it doesn't mean anything, but it means something to me to finish it. But even though I'm very ready to be done, I'm very lucky and excited to have other great adventures to go on to. And again, they won't be solo adventures. They'll be with Carrie, which is wonderful. But nonetheless, I was thinking some about, so what happens with this part of me that I've developed that is to cope with doing this by myself, of hiking all day, of camping out all night, and then and just all the kind of the habits and everything that I've figured out. And I realized, I think back to 2 years ago, and I think, oh, it just kind of went away, and I just didn't really, I very much didn't think about it. Got into whatever else I was doing, and I'm sure the same thing will happen here. And honestly, I feel it happening already. I feel it sliding away. But I'll miss it. I'll miss that part of myself some, even though if I had the opportunity now to say, oh, I can hike for another month, I would not be excited by it. It's like I'm definitely ready to be done, but I will also miss this. So through hiking is simple and it's selfish. It's difficult. It's certainly difficult. It's difficult physically. It's difficult mentally, and that it even, is somewhat dangerous if you look at the number of people who get injured either by just overuse injuries or by falling or something. But when you get down to it, it's pretty simple. There's not a lot of things that you have to deal with, not many things to think about every day, and there's very little of real life actually that you have to think about, especially when you're hiking by yourself. And you pretty much just, you walk every day, and especially when you're out for a few days, it might be harder in some ways. In fact, I definitely find it more difficult, but it's very simple. And you don't really have to think about much other than yourself. You just you don't have to worry about the house or the car or the kids or the parents or anything. You just kind of walk along. And I think when I started a few years ago, that was more of the attraction, because I didn't throw in or the job. It's like, all of those things had various degrees of stress, and I'm sure part of the attraction was just wanting to get away from that and enjoying the break from from the real world. But in that way, it's very selfish also, because you don't deal with the real world, especially if, like me, my wife is taking care of most of that stuff, so it's very rarely that I have to ever have to deal with much like real life stuff. Fortunately now, that stuff's gotten a lot easier than it was a few years ago, so there's not as much to kind of escape from that way. But it definitely has its element of that selfishness. I've learned that one of the things I've learned is that I get tired of being out here, and I've said this before, that I get tired of being dirty and uncomfortable, and that way I'm not maybe not a true through hiker, even though I'm just about to finish the PCT. We're just not as natural a through hiker as some people who just really, really love this lifestyle. And it's kind of fun for a while, and there are parts of it that I like, but I guess I like being comfortable more, and we all probably have our limits as to where how much discomfort we are okay with, and will kind of be, I guess, how much discomfort we're comfortable with. And I'm definitely now past the point where it's like this, the heat and the bugs and the dirtiness and being outside and the blisters and everything is like just more than I find enjoyable. Although a lot of people, the people I'm passing now have walked 1,800 miles, and most of them are probably going to get to the border, and some of them are probably kind of done with this, but a lot of them are just much more comfortable with this lifestyle, much more, it just fits them much more, and I'm kind of done with that, which is why it'll be good to be done with the trail tomorrow. There's some kind of birds here. I don't know if I can get close enough to see them, but there's a whole lot of turkeys that look bigger than grouse. Not sure what they are. Let's see. They're just kind of, lost them over in the trees there. I have mile and a half to the road. I'm getting down lower. You can tell by the grassiness it's and also getting closer to the might be on the west side now of the divide. It's getting a little where it's a little wetter, although not wet right now, but changing a little bit. I think tomorrow, I think this could be super warm. If I was here during the heat wave, I think it would have been miserable. And like tomorrow would have been that way, but it's not supposed to be. It was in the low 80s today, and it's supposed to be like that tomorrow, and I should be done earlier, a bit shorter. But anyway, like a mile and a half to go. And in some ways, my last full day, because tomorrow, at like 15 or 16 miles, is kind of a somewhat short day. And so it looks like I'm going to finish this thing. And this is not the most inspiring stuff to be walking through, but not too bad. Good morning. It's Saturday, July 27th. My last day on the PCT. Just been walking for a few minutes. The sun is still pretty low. It's cool. Coming from there, going towards here. Somewhat smoky, although I'm not smelling it much, but a little reminder of when I finished hiking 2 years ago. Have 16.9 miles today, and then I'm done. So I'm full of all sorts of feels. Had kind of my last check-in with those three voices in my head, and there's not a lot to say today, and that there's not much left. My feet are hurting a bit, but they're okay, and my body has made it. My knees made it, and I've hiked the whole way, and there's not much more logistics to do. I'm not gonna have to get water again. I have enough water that I'll probably be dumping a bit towards the end, so there's really no logistics left. I walk for a few hours, and Carrie picks me up, and I'm done. And it's more of in the end, it's a mental challenge. But I've met that. I did that. So, what? No, it feels now like it's just going to be a teary, feely 17 miles, 16.9. Well, I have a mile to go. Maybe this is a good time to to thank people, including, or starting out with my wife Carrie, who's done so much to help make this happen, encouraged me to get back out this year, was my logistics hero when I was in the desert, and she would arrange stuff for me, generally getting me much nicer places than I probably would have got myself. And then has been out here the last couple of months, and was out here 2 years ago supporting me both logistically and emotionally. And so thank you. Thanks to my family, who has always been supportive, so supportive and loving. Thanks to Karen, who's helped my body work a little bit better. Thanks to Mark, my old boss, who helped me get the time off 2 years ago to do this, do the first part of this. Thanks to all the trail angels and all the people along the trail who gave me rides or food or encouragement, to the other hikers, and thanks to the people who've worked for decades to make the PCT exist, and to keep it, try to keep it maintained, and to protect and preserve it. Thank you all. Road walking now, just about to go under Interstate 5. When I started 2 years ago, I actually started the wrong direction for a couple hundred yards and got just about to this underpass. I can't remember if I went under it or not, but I am there, and I want to enjoy the moment. This is awesome. This is great. I'm really, I am happy. This is really special to make it back to here, where I started 2 years ago.
Tony, congratulations. I think it's so wonderful what you have done. And I know how much preparation you did, and walking and figuring out the food and the weight, and reading about the trail and knowing all of the things that you needed to know. And, it took strength to do that, to overcome whatever fears and challenges you had. I think that's wonderful. And it makes you stronger when you do something that requires a lot of tenacity, and I think this does. I think it's just wonderful what you've done. I'm just so proud of you, and I hope that you feel a great sense of satisfaction, and I just think it's wonderful. And of course, I love you, and you had a great support in Carrie.
Hey Tony, congratulations. Good job.
Congratulations! Congrats on your hike, Dad. We're glad you didn't get eaten by a bear or a snake or anything like that. But also, it's been really cool to watch you do this over the last several years. It's a neat reminder that there's still a lot of time left in life to do cool things. And we're super proud of you for finishing the hike, and look forward to hearing more stories about it when we see you next. Love you.
Hi, Dad. This is Ren and Stevie, and we just want to say congratulations on finishing the PCT. We're very proud of you. We love you very much. Yay!
Hi, Dad. Congratulations on finishing the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm so proud of you, and I love you, and I'm so grateful you're my dad.
Congratulations, Tony!
Congratulations!
It's a hell of an endeavor. And Carrie, congratulations on awesome support work. That whole trip's been quite an effort. So love you guys.
Love you. We've been looking forward to seeing you soon, and happy sailing.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, I hear you're finishing up the Pacific Crest Trail. Congratulations, buddy. I'm glad we're both getting to live our dreams, as it were. Hope to see you sometime in the not too distant future. Congratulations again.
Just in time for the Olympics. Opening ceremony. Way to go, Tony.
By gosh, you did it! Congratulations, Tony.
Way to go, big guy. We're very proud of you. What an accomplishment.
See ya in November. Bye.
Congratulations, Tony, on never having to walk the PCT trail or any parts of it or any logistics to it again.
I don't know why you did it, but I hope you're glad you did. Congratulations.
Hey Tony, it's Kim Temple. Congratulations on finishing the PCT. I'm out here with my gear, getting ready for when I can once again hike. You are my inspiration. Your tenacity and perseverance is unbelievable, and I'm really impressed. Thank you for setting this example, and congratulations on finishing the PCT. Way to go.
Hey, why not? You did it! Congratulations. Awesome job. You're an awesome inspiration, persevering through the whole damn thing. It's amazing. And also congratulations to your logistics and public relations and support team. You got an awesome wife, and you know that already, but you guys make an awesome team. You're just a all-around inspiration to me. Congratulations.